You're probably here because the dream felt so real, didn't it? Financial freedom, calling your own shots, trading your way to a life most only imagine. But what if that dream has slowly become a meticulously crafted prison one you built with your own hands? What if the keys to unlock it aren't found in the market, but deep within your own mind? Welcome to Mind of a Trader. I'm not here to sell you another holy grail indicator. I'm here today to talk about the one variable most gurus conveniently sidestep: you. Why do so many intelligent, dedicated traders consistently blow up their accounts? Let me be blunt, it's almost never about lacking a good strategy. It's not because you don't understand support and resistance, or because you missed one more webinar. I've been there, staring at a sea of red, feeling that ice-cold dread creep into my stomach. I used to think if I just learn one more thing, but the brutal truth I had to swallow: I wasn't blowing accounts because my analysis was flawed. I was blowing accounts because I was flawed. My decisions weren't driven by logic. They were hijacked by a storm of emotion, by the bitter sting of a loss demanding revenge, by the impatient itch to just be in a trade, by the arrogant refusal to admit I was wrong. This isn't just another job, is it? There's no boss, no guaranteed paycheck, no colleagues to share the load. It's you staring into the abyss of a market that feels no empathy, has no pity. You snag a few wins that dopamine hits and you think, I've got this, I'm smarter than the herd. But then the market reminds you with brutal efficiency that it doesn't care how smart you think you are. You start losing. Why? Because you jump in without a clear thesis. You hold on to losers like a gambler clinging to a losing lottery ticket, terrified that closing the trade means admitting failure, admitting you were wrong. That little red number on your screen, it becomes a judgment, your stop loss. Not a tool, but an admission of defeat you can't stomach. I devoured books, courses, mentors. The more I learned, the more lost I felt. Not because the knowledge was bad, but because the captain of my ship, my mind, was navigating by ego and fear, not by a clear chart. I'd lost my cool. I'd forgotten how to step back, how to say, enough for today. I blamed the market's manipulation, the slippery broker, the failed strategy. Anyone but the person staring back from the screen. I'm telling you this not to scare you, but to wake you, because the biggest enemy in this game isn't the market, it's the reflection in your monitor. After my first catastrophic loss, the kind that hollows you out, I wasn't myself. Sleep became a luxury I couldn't afford. I'd wake up with this crushing weight on my chest, a premonition of doom. My phone was the first thing I'd grab, eyes glued to that damn balance, praying it hadn't bled more overnight. That was the beginning of my private hell, a relentless cycle of obsession and despair. No strategy felt safe. No expert's advice resonated. I doubted everything, every system. And the most insidious doubt, the one I reserved for myself. I'd sit for hours not analyzing, but hunting for that one trade that would fix everything. I wasn't trading to make money anymore. I was trading to recover, to prove I wasn't an idiot, to scream at the market, you were wrong, I was right. But the more I fought, the deeper I sank. The more I tried to prove my genius, the more the market exposed my folly. I remember one night, account decimated to a few $100. I just sat there numb, watching the candles paint their indifferent story. Red, green, uncaring. It didn't know my name, didn't care about my dreams, my losses. And then for the first time in a long, long time, I broke, not because of the money, but because of the shattering realization of my own utter powerlessness. That night something shifted, a painful, terrifying clarity. The market doesn't need me, but I had chained my entire self-worth to its whims. Every win was a temporary high proof of my brilliance. Every loss a confirmation of my deepest fear that I was a failure. Trading had stopped being a profession. It had become a brutal, unforgiving mirror, reflecting every flaw I desperately tried to hide: my greed, my fear, my fragile ego. My comeback didn't start with a new indicator or a revolutionary algorithm. It started with learning to breathe, slowly, deliberately. It started with accepting that sometimes the most profitable trade is no trade at all. I started looking inward. I kept an emotional journal, raw and honest. I stuck 2 non-negotiable rules on my monitor. 1. No entry without a crystal clear reason. 2. Market revenge is financial suicide. Slowly, agonizingly, I understood. To survive in this arena, you don't need to be the smartest, the fastest, or the luckiest. You need to be the most disciplined, the most self-aware, and the one who knows precisely when to walk away. This psychological battlefield is silent, invisible. It's a daily war waged between your rational mind and your primal ego. No coach is blowing a whistle. No mentor is looking over your shoulder for every click. It's just you. If you can conquer yourself, the market often surprisingly becomes your ally. But if your inner demons win, the market will reclaim everything you thought you owned. Without hesitation. Winning in trading isn't about beating the market. It's about beating yourself, your old, impulsive, fearful self. Every single day, every single trade, every single moment of decision. If this story, my story, resonates with you, if it touches that part of you that knows this struggle intimately, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Not for the algorithm, but as an acknowledgement. A nod to our shared journey. And if you know someone else walking this razor's edge, share this with them. Maybe it's the lifeline they need. And if you're ready to stop fighting the market and start understanding the mind of a trader, your mind, then subscribe and join our community. We're not just talking charts here. We're forging resilience together. There's a profound truth that took me years of pain to truly absorb. Trading isn't just placing buy and sell orders. It's an intimate, often brutal confrontation with every crack and fissure in your own soul. It exposes the raw, vulnerable parts you've spent a lifetime trying to armor. I once arrogantly believed that enough knowledge, enough strategies would make me invincible. Pro trader, easy money. The market served me a bitter cocktail of humility. We don't lose because we don't know enough. We lose because we don't master ourselves. I remember those days, account bleeding out, still glued to the screen. Not for opportunity, not for analysis, but because trading had become the last refuge for a man who felt utterly lost, a failure. I didn't know where else to go. Yes, I cried. Alone. In the dark. Not for the money, but for that crushing sense of being small, useless, and so profoundly alone. The self-doubt became a cancer eating away at any trust I had left, in systems, in charts, even in my own judgment. All I wanted was to get it back, to feel valuable again, to prove I wasn't the fool the market was making me out to be. But that desperate need, that wounded pride, that was the real saboteur slicing away at my capital day by day. Then came a night of absolute stillness. The charts flickered my account balance, a grim reminder, but inside me, a strange, cold emptiness. No one knew my torment. I didn't know how I'd face tomorrow. And in that void, a single stark realization: the market owes me nothing. It doesn't care about my intelligence, my losses, my desperation, but I had wagered my entire self-worth, my identity, on its uncaring altar. A catastrophic mistake. My real journey back didn't start with a new trading plan. It started with learning to sit still, to breathe, to observe the tempest within. My new monitor mantras became: 1. No trading if the mind isn't calm. 2. No revenge. You only hurt yourself. I journaled. I started a dialogue with myself before every potential trade. Are you entering because of a valid signal or because of FOMO? Do you want to win this trade, or are you just trying to erase the sting of yesterday's loss? Slowly, things changed. Trading was no longer a battlefield for my ego. It became that mirror again, but this time I wasn't afraid to look. It showed me my greed, my fear, my arrogant I, and the scared inner child who was never taught how to truly handle failure. Now I don't need to win every day. I need to be clear every day, to know when to observe, when to step back. I am not stronger than the market, but I can be stronger than my own destructive impulses if I remain vigilant. Listen closely. Trading isn't for the get-rich-quick crowd. It's for souls brave enough to endure profound loneliness while confronting the rawest truths about themselves. No one can save you from your mistakes. No guru can stop your finger from clicking at the wrong moment. It's you and your ego in the arena. Every trade is a high-stakes negotiation with your own emotions. If you feel lost right now, you are not alone. I've scraped the bottom of that abyss and the climb back. It wasn't paved with indicators. It was built breath by breath, day by day with awakening awareness. Winning in trading isn't conquering the market. It's the quiet surrender of your ego. Only when you truly master yourself does the market begin to feel less like an adversary and more like a current you can learn to navigate. My trading my life entered a new phase after those long days of silence, breathwork, and brutal honesty. No more frantic chasing, no more trembling hands. I learned to let go. I stopped fighting the market and started having a conversation with it. Each session became less of a battle and more of an observation of global financial rhythm. I watch. I don't predict. I don't force. I simply aim to be present. I realized the market doesn't create emotion. I was the one amplifying every flicker into a firestorm. A red candle is just movement, but my untrained mind turned it into disaster. A surge was just volatility, but my ego twisted it into regret anger, a mad dash to chase. The real enemy wasn't the market's unpredictability, but my own undisciplined mind. So I built a sanctuary, a mental meditation room for my trading. No incense, no rituals, just pure, unadulterated awareness. Before each session, 3 minutes of stillness. How is my mind today? Agitated, stay out. Calm, observe. Clear, act. I reclaimed my life from the charts. No more phone checks in the dead of night. No more chart gazing first thing upon waking. Sleep deepened. Meals became unhurried. I could feel the wind without worrying about spread widening. I didn't become the best trader. I became a more peaceful human being. Every trade now is a commitment, clear reason, solid plan, defined exit. When the must-win obsession fades, the market often offers a path. It's no longer a storm, but a river. You, the boatman, flowing with wisdom and calm. Trading was never about speed. It's a journey of mental and emotional maturation. The more you mature, the more navigable the market becomes. The calmer you are, the more sustainable your profits. Ultimately, trading doesn't teach you how to get rich quick. It teaches you how to slow down, how to see yourself with unflinching honesty, how to lose without losing yourself, and how to win without losing your peace. Think of it as a pilgrimage. Each trade a spiritual lesson. Most come seeking fortunes. Those who stay are those who learn to shed. Shed impatience, shed excessive ambition, shed the ego that always needs to be right. Each entry is a step into the unknown. No guarantees, only lessons. Win or lose, the only thing you truly control is the state of your own mind. I stopped asking, when will I make $1,000 a day? And started asking, when will I stop being ruled by my emotions? Because without mental mastery, any gains are just temporary loans from the market, soon to be violently reclaimed. Trading is that spiritual mirror reflecting your inner turmoil, forcing you to confront yourself relentlessly. No escape, no saviors, only the silent, often painful growth that comes from weathering your own storms. If you're brave enough to stay, trading won't just teach you about markets. It will teach you how to live more deeply, think more clearly, and understand the profound power of enough. Because in the end, the ultimate conquest isn't the market, it's you. Thank you for walking this path with me today. If these words resonated, if they made you feel a little less alone on your own trading journey, then I believe we've truly connected. Continue this journey with me with Mind of a Trader. In our upcoming videos, we'll delve even deeper into the stories, the struggles, and the breakthroughs that shape us. More truth, more vulnerability, and always more hope. I'll see you in the next part of our journey. Trade wisely and live fully.